I've been asking myself lately, is summer squash significantly different from winter squash? Or is it just a choice we make? And I've been asking that question because I harvested these two squash in October. It's now January, so somewhat over 3 months have passed. I've been storing them in my dining room and then in my office, where they're pretty much at room temperature. And the winter squash has changed only in that it's ripened up better. It was probably a little green when I harvested it, but it's firm and in good shape. And the summer squash, zucchini, is just as firm as it was when I harvested it. And it's starting to turn a little bit orange. That's 3 months in storage. Now, I let it grow so large so the seeds would be mature and I'd be able to use them in my next year's garden. But I see no reason to think the fruit would be in bad shape. So we're going to find out in a minute. But I have other examples here. This zucchini, also harvested green, probably a month longer, or even a month and a half longer than the previous one. It's turned very yellow. It's gotten quite soft. If I found a winter squash in storage like this, that's the one I'd want to cut open. And I suspect I'd find it was maybe a little dry inside. If I don't find anything gross though, I'll probably eat it. So I'll start just by classic cutting off the end. And even right there, I'm impressed. I mean, the meat is very solid just below the stem. It's a little yellowed. It looks beautiful. Maybe I'll cut it lengthwise. It's definitely soft. Just over a ½ inch of meat. I just gave it a sniff and it smells perfect. It smells very edible, nothing rotten about it at all. And that flesh feels quite firm. I don't see a problem here. Maybe it's just a choice. You want to be able to eat these without peeling them, so you eat them when they're young. Now there's no way you get me to eat that skin. It looks kind of gross, but it wouldn't take very long with a vegetable peeler. This summer squash looks quite healthy. I can scrape out the insides just like I would a winter squash. And I can peel it just like I would a winter squash. Actually, it peels much more easily than a winter squash because it's soft. Now, it's still soft. Squash in season is going to be quite a bit firmer than this, but it's not bad. And if I cut sections, I can cut those down into cubes if I want. I mean, obviously any way you want to prepare it, but it seems to me that those would do just nicely in some kind of a saute. I think I could get a lot more storage out of them, maybe another 2 or 3 months. Why not? Especially if you're one of those people who's had a zucchini surplus, which is pretty much every gardener who grows zucchini. Why not let a whole bunch of them mature on the vine and then store them as winter squash and use them through the cold season that way? Kind of wish I'd figured this out a few years ago. I didn't want to guess and give bad information, so I cooked a skillet of what to call winter zucchini. I used some onion and home canned tomatoes, and I seasoned it with various things: salt, pepper. Oh, there was oregano and basil, and a little crushed red pepper, and I sauteed it all first in olive oil, then added a little wine and the tomatoes and let it simmer covered for maybe 10 minutes. It's firm, pleasantly chewable. It has very little flavor, so whatever seasonings I used in the pan is pretty much what I taste when I'm eating it. I think it's a pretty worthwhile thing to do. Don't compost those oversized zucchinis. Store them and eat them through the winter.